This is a model that I call a dynamic map of self, and it's a model I've developed over my years in private practice to explain to people the nature of what their experience is. So I describe the self as a circle, and imagine that this is like your skin. So within your skin, you experience your thoughts. It's a whole landscape of experience of thoughts, and they're quite distinct from another whole landscape of experience, which is our emotions. And then what's quite a large landscape of experience is our body. So this is our five senses, including sight, sound, taste and smell, but also our tactile field, which is really quite large. So apart from our five senses, our body also gives us an experience of how we interact with the outside world, the way we behave, the way we speak, and so forth. So cognitive behavioural therapy, thoughts are cognition. So the cognitive part is the content of what is happening through our mind, our landscape of our language, the way we think. And behaviour obviously is what we're doing with our body. So cognitive behaviour therapy is looking at how our thoughts and our behaviours lead to emotions, and how our thoughts lead to behaviours and influence our behaviours, and also our behaviours, how they influence our thoughts. And as we start to understand this relationship, we can actually see that these three landscapes of experience interact with each other. It goes in both directions. Now, if there's a circumstance, say stress, for example, or say we realise that we're running late for an appointment. So there's a thought that's come in. It's quite stressful, but we've experienced a thought. We've kind of created the thought. A thought's come in, stressful thought, and then the emotion is worry, stress, and then that might then translate into some tension in the body, and maybe some agitation. And then that body becomes a bit tense, and the muscles become a bit tight, and then that can influence how we're thinking, and then our thoughts can become narrowed and just focused on that, and which can then exacerbate the emotion of anxiety. So that's an example of how a thought can lead to actually a continuing circle of interaction between these different landscapes of experience. So cognitive behaviour therapy will look at how that thought is something that has caused this influence, and then give some skills to learn to moderate that thought. Mindfulness brings in another dimension into this map, and that's the dimension of the sense of self. I'm just going to label it here as the I, the sense of I. So I can pay attention to what's going on in my body. I can pay attention to the various senses that I have, and this is one of the main practices with mindfulness, is intentionally paying attention to what's going on in our body. And with that practice of mindfulness, we develop a stronger identity with the experiencer of those sensations. And then with that enhanced practice of mindfulness, of paying attention intentionally to body sensations, we then become more skillful at paying attention to what's going on in our thoughts. We become more aware that we're not our thoughts. We're actually thinking our thoughts. A lot of people get into difficulty when they're actually fused with their thoughts. So this process of practicing mindfulness helps us develop an awareness, an experience of awareness that we're actually thinking our thoughts and that we're not being our thoughts. And in the same way, we can also pay intentional attention to our emotions. So in a mindful way, I'm feeling this now. I'm sensing this in my body. I'm thinking whatever in my thoughts. And then we can also be more conscious of actually then paying attention again to these interactions between these different landscapes of experience. So this map has been really useful for a lot of people, and they've found it really important to getting a handle on what is otherwise kind of very fluid concepts. So I hope that that's been clear enough to explain the nature of cognitive behaviour skills, and also how mindfulness can strengthen our capacity to actually manage and coordinate these different landscapes of experience in a way that is actually going to enhance the way we live our lives and interact with other people.
Action.